Hey everyone, this is your friend Darrell Brown. It's been a long time since I've put a video here on Facebook and on my YouTube channel. It's been a long time since I've done the DB cam, but just wanted to wish all my friends out there in Facebook land a very Merry Christmas and a blessed 2012. And I wanted to record a story, I guess, for posterity's sake, in case I get amnesia or forget something, and I want to tell this story to my kids someday instead of tell them about it. I can just show them the video. I was just sitting here reminiscing about some of my Christmases when I was a child, some of my favorite Christmas memories, and some of my favorite toys and gifts that I got for Christmas. And there was one story that came to mind that I thought was pretty funny. I still think it's pretty funny. I didn't think it was funny back then, but I think it's funny now. And maybe those of you that watch the video, you may think it's funny as well. Back in the junior high days, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade at Northwood Junior High, I was in the band, and I played the tenor saxophone. I was the only tenor saxophone player in a group of about 5 or 6 alto saxophone players. And I played what was called a school-owned instrument. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It was an instrument owned by the school. It was an old Yamaha saxophone. It was dinged up, banged up, it lost its shine, its luster. It was just not a very beautiful instrument to play and to be proud of, to take out on marching trips and things like that. So all the other alto saxophone players, though, they had their own instruments because the alto saxophone wasn't nearly as expensive as a tenor saxophone. Tenor saxophones back then, a new one, they were several $100s. Of course, that's late 80s money. That was quite a bit. Even though I came from a upper middle class kind of home, that was still a lot of money to spend on an item, just one item, tenor saxophone. So anyway, Christmas time comes along, and my brother, Darren, who's 13 years older than me, I'm 35, he's 48, or 49, 48 or 49, something like that. We had this deal where he had moved home due to some situation, let's just say. He had moved home, and we had this little deal where I would tell him something Mom and Dad got him for Christmas, and vice versa. And he had been wanting this gun or a bow and arrow set or some kind of hunting paraphernalia. I don't remember what it was exactly, but it was something to do with hunting. And he came up to me, and said, "Hey, did I get this gun or bow or whatever it was?" And I said, "Yeah, I saw it." He was all excited and everything. And I'd of course been hinting around at Christmas time for new tenor saxophone, and Mom pretty much flat out said it's not going to happen. We're not going to spend that amount of money on an instrument. It's just not feasible. Just not reasonable. So, but I kept hinting though. I kept hinting. I kept trying to persuade him. Use my political preacher skills to try to persuade Mom to get me one, but I didn't think it was going to work. Well, anyway, Darren proceeds to tell me that he said, you've been hitting around a tenor saxophone. I said, yeah. He said, well, I saw the other day that they got you a brand new tenor saxophone. And I was elated. I could not believe it. I was so excited to get this news. And we had about, I think, a few days left, maybe a week of school before the holiday break. I went back to band and bragged to everybody, Matt Griffin and Sherry Shannon and Tony Yurton and John Comer and all the bunch, that I was going to come back from the holiday break with the most beautiful saxophone in the whole entire Northwood Junior High School band. So anyway, on Christmas Eve, that's when the Browns, we do our Christmas with each other, still do to this day. We would go to Bald Knob, Arkansas, which is where the Browns are from, and we'd exchange presents and have dinner with my grandma and grandpa Brown and all my aunts and uncles and cousins. And then after that, we would come back to where I grew up at, Running Acres, Gravel Ridge area, Sherwood, whatever it's called now. And I tell you, that drive from Bald Knob to Runyon Acres seemed like an eternity. It's only like an hour, but it seemed like an eternity. Especially that night because I could not wait to get home and get that saxophone. I was so excited. So anyway, we get home and we unwrap gifts, and of course I got a lot of cool stuff. I got some clothes, which at the time I was kind of bored about because I was really not the stylish guy that I am now. Of course, I got to thank Mike Doyle and Lance Turner for making me the style guru that I am. Back then I didn't really care what I wore. I got clothes. I don't remember what else I got. It was junior high. Probably George Strait CDs. Who knows? But I was waiting for the big one. I knew they were going to probably bring out the saxophone, the grand finale. Save the best for last. Well, needless to say, Christmas Eve, we opened up all the gifts up under the brown Christmas tree, and there was no tenor saxophone. No saxophone. So I thought to myself, well, you know what? I got it. Even though, for the benefit of kids that might be watching this, probably not, but even though Santa no longer visited young Darrell in the 8th grade, I thought maybe Santa would come the next Christmas morning and bring little Darrell his tenor saxophone that his brother had swore that he had seen his mom have for him. So I get up early Christmas morning. Back then I used to sleep until like 10 or 11. But boy, I got up Christmas morning, couldn't wait. We really didn't do much on Christmas morning. Went out to my Uncle Bill and Aunt Georgie and Cousin Christina's house. Ate. Christine and I played back and forth. I thought, boy, I'm going to wake up next morning, Christmas morning, and the saxophone's going to be under the tree. Santa Claus brought it. Get up, 6 a.m., no saxophone, no present. A few things in the stocking, no saxophone. Now, I was pretty disappointed. I was pretty down, I was pretty sad. By this time, Mom and Dad were up. I believe Darren was up or getting up. And either my mom or my dad, I don't remember which one, said, you look kind of sad, Darrell. You look a little depressed. What's the matter? You're not having a good Christmas? Did you not get what you wanted? What's the deal? And, by this time I think Darren had entered the kitchen. I think they were making breakfast. And I just had to be honest with them. I said, I was really expecting a new tenor saxophone for Christmas from y'all. And they said, why would you expect that? We flat out told you we were not going to spend hundreds of dollars on one gift. That was just extravagant. What would make you think that we would get you a new instrument for Christmas? And at this point, my brother Dan, he was hysterically laughing over in the corner and having a gay old time at my expense. And Mom and Dad realized what had happened. Darren had played a big practical joke, a big prank on me that I was supposed to have the saxophone, but I didn't get one. So I was pretty disappointed, but the story does have a happy ending because just a couple days later in the paper, we found a tenor saxophone for sale that had recently been refurbished by a man by the name of Jim Burgett, who was my summer band teacher, the former director of the Northwood Band for many, many years, director of Sylvan Hills Band for many years, a legend in Pulaski County Special School District music and arts area. Great man. He was the predecessor to another great band instructor, Miss Jo Wilcox, my parents' neighbor. And this saxophone had been refurbished recently by Mr. Burgett. My parents got it for me. We met at the parking lot of the North Point Mall, where the old Wyatt's cafeteria is at, where Hobby Lobby is at, the post office and all that down on JFK. And come to find out, we got it at a steal, the saxophone. It's called a Big B Busher Aristocrat. It was made like in 1930-something. Gorgeous, beautiful pearl inlays. Uh, Worth a lot of money. I'm not going to say how much because, I don't want anybody trying to break in to my house or my parents' house or wherever it's at. I know where it's at. I'm not going to tell anybody because you don't do that on the internet due to privacy reasons. But come to find out, I ended up getting a beautiful saxophone worth a lot of money, vintage, gorgeous, that I would not trade with anybody for, that I would not part with. That most amount of money probably could not buy. Something very special to me that I still keep to this day. And can still play, by the way. I can still play it, by the way. So it ended up that when I went back for Christmas break to Northwood Junior High, I did indeed have the most beautiful, most awesome tenor saxophone of all, and I still have it to this day. So, yes, it was a very upsetting, disappointing Christmas for young Darrell Brown back in the 8th grade, but it did turn out to have a very happy ending. So, I hope all of you have a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year from Amy, my beautiful wife, my crazy dog Stonewall. This is Darrell Brown wishing you the happiest of holidays. And remember that Jesus is the reason for the season. And if you've never accepted Him as your Lord and Savior, don't put it off. Do it today. He's waiting. Take care and God bless. Oh, wait a minute. Is Stonewall in the picture? Stonewall, hey Stonewall, what's up? Give Daddy love? You give Daddy love? Give Daddy love. Okay. He don't want to give Daddy love. He wants to play with the star. Merry Christmas and God bless you. We'll see you soon.